Welcome everyone to the City of Saratoga Springs Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, July 30th, 2026. We'll go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Commissioner Wilden, will you lead us in that?
You bet.
Thank you so much. All right, and we'll move on to roll call tonight. We've got Commissioner Mann is excused and everyone else is present. And then we'll go ahead and move to public input. This time has been set aside for the public to express ideas, concerns, and comments for subject matter not listed as public hearing on the agenda. Limit of 3 meetings per speaker. Unused time may not be given to another, and time for public input is limited to no more than 15 minutes total. We'll go ahead and open for public input. All right, and seeing none, we'll close public input and move to business item number 1. The commission will discuss without public comment and may either make a recommendation to the City Council or approve the following items as needed. The Mini Mint Preschool Home Occupation Class 3 located at 87 East Baltic Rush Avenue. Susan Reyes is applicant and Senior Planner Baines. Oh, sorry. Am I supposed to be pushing the buttons?
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I thought the light was on. So tonight we're doing a Class 3 home occupation for Mini Mint Preschool located at 87 East Baltic Rush Avenue. The reason it's coming to the Planning Commission is home occupations with either 10 or more students in a class, 8 or more students in a class, or with 16 or more students a day, they are considered Class 3 and come to the Planning Commission for approval. The applicant is proposing to have 10 students per class and 2 classes per day, so 20 students total. Their operating hours will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and 40% of the home will be used for the 40% of the home will be used for the home occupation. Going through the code compliance here, it meets both the home occupation and off-street parking codes. And they're proposing to have parking in the driveway, and they're going to stagger pickup and drop off to ensure that all the parking can be on the driveway and off the street. The applicant is here, Susan, if you have any questions for me or her.
All right, let's go ahead and invite the applicant to join you if she'd like to add anything to the presentation tonight.
I have nothing. Sorry. Was I supposed to have anything?
No, that's okay, just if you did. Or if there's any questions that we have that you might answer in just a minute.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that, we'll go ahead and open for for commissioner comment. Commissioner Hill.
Caden, thank you for the presentation. Just 2 questions. The first is there shall comply, which is getting the business license, which I'm sure is going to happen, but I just wanted to make sure that that was addressed because it was a shall comply on the sheet.
Yep, they've started the business license application. I think this is the last thing holding it up.
Okay, and then the only other question that I had, and I know that it's a part of the process, is to contact the neighbors in the area to make sure there were no concerns. The area is, from my thought, is a bit exclusive, and so I just wanted to make sure that we didn't receive any neighbor concerns with the permit.
I don't believe that's a part of the code any longer. Austin, do you know, do they have to have any neighbor input on this?
Not on this, no.
So, yeah,
Okay.
no neighbor input was needed.
So Susan, from your perspective, do your neighbors know that this is going to happen?
Yes, and a good, 50% are in our preschool, and everyone is very
If you can
Okay.
just actually pull the mic a little bit closer to your face.
Everyone's really supportive of
Thank
it,
you.
which is really nice, and 50% of the neighborhood are actually in our preschool.
Okay, yeah, that would have been my only concern. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, any other commissioner comment? Commissioner Wilden?
Yes, thank you very much. Could you go back to the slide that shows the green outlined area? And so I guess the question is, what is that green outlined area? That does not look like 40% of the square foot. I'm just curious about that.
That number is just based off of what the applicant submitted, so it does seem a little bit small to be 40% of the home, but it's 1,300 square feet. Maybe, do you have anything to say to that?
We have, I mean, I'm not good with my numbers, but we have the basement that's not done, so I don't know, adding all of that up? I don't know.
Okay, so
That's my estimate.
can a basement that's unfinished be considered part of that 40%?
The basement can't be used as part of the home occupation, and because it doesn't have the occupancy for that, but I don't believe there's anything that says if an unfinished basement can be counted towards the floor plan of the house.
I
And
think
Doug,
there
I'm
is.
wondering that the garage probably isn't counted either.
Yeah, typically our code, when we're calculating percentages for different things, we wouldn't typically count basement square footage or garage square footage.
We would if the basement is finished and part of the application though, right?
If for this type of occupation, yes, and especially if, you know, we've had others where they use the basement for this use.
So it needs to be 40%, is that right? Or
No.
it doesn't need, what percentage does it need to be?
It can't exceed 40%. So from what it sounds like, it's 40% of the main floor is what you're going to be using.
Oh, it cannot exceed 40%.
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I've seen a few of these come through, and I have a neighbor who runs one of these, and so I do have just a couple of things. One, I would just really make sure to remind your parents that, you know, pick up and drop off is when children are outside. And so a lot of times we have folks running late, and when we're running late, we tend to rush. And really, that's actually the time when we're running something dealing with children that we want to just actually slow down and just be a little bit late, because rushing when children is involved is when accidents happen. So just a strong reminder on that. And then also, just a quick question with this. Are you required to do background checks for any employees when running this kind of an occupation out of your home?
Yes. Or, actually, am I? For, what?
I don't think the city requires any background checks, but the Utah Health and Human Services may have something to do with that in their licensing, but that's not something we ask for, and the applicant currently isn't proposing having any employees outside of the family.
Okay,
It's
Cool.
regulated by the state.
yeah.
And then I'm also in the process of getting my childcare licensing, but they said I needed to get this first to be able to move on to that, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah. Awesome, great. Any other commissioner comment tonight? Awesome, great. I love these kinds of businesses. I think they bring a lot to our city, and I think they connect us as neighborhoods and communities. So thank you for bringing that in tonight, and I appreciate your application. All right, I will now entertain a motion.
Chair, I move the Planning Commission approve the requested Class 3 home occupation for Minty Mint preschool located at 87 East Baltic Rush Avenue with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Okay, we've got a motion from Commissioner Wilden. Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
Okay, and we've got a second from Commissioner Roman. Any questions on the motion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes unanimously. We'll move to business item number 2, Jacobs Ranch Marketplace, Lot 10, site plan located at 1805 South Redwood Road. Forrest Gaskill as applicant and senior planner Austin Roy.
There we go, testing. Okay, thank you, Chair and Commissioners. So this is Jacob Ranch Marketplace Lot 10 site plan. You have seen Lot 7 and Lot 8 recently. So this is very similar to what you've seen already. And in fact, this is a more complete application because those ones, there were a couple of shall complies. This one, they're all complies. So you can see Lot 10 is located to the north here, just north of the McDonald's site, actually. And so we've gone ahead and done our review, and everything complies with our code. Here is the site plan. They will have a restaurant on this site. So that is something a little bit different from the other sites that you've seen. And there is an outdoor patio area, so which you see up there on the north. They're showing 2 tables there, which is permitted. If they do more than that, if they do more than 12 seats outside, then they would have to get more parking, but they're not applying for that, and they're not showing that at this time, so they do meet our code as far as that's concerned. You can see their landscape plan here. They do have it's tied into the overall Jacob Ranch Marketplace sidewalk and pedestrian system, so you can see that nice pedestrian connection going through the landscaping area there in between the parking stalls and connecting to the front of that building. Here are some elevations of what this will look like. You'll notice that the brick is a little bit darker than what you've seen on the other 2. So apparently they ran out of the brick on the other ones, so they've updated that here, and you can see that reflected in these elevations. But it's still kind of a reddish brick. It's just a slight shade different. And here are the elevations, which do meet our code as far as a number of windows and materials. And then the applicant is here tonight, Forrest Gaskill. If you have any questions for him, he's happy to answer those as well. So.
All right, does the applicant want to join us for this? And do you have anything you'd like to add to the presentation for tonight?
Yeah, my name is Forrest Gaskill. I represent the master developer for the Jacob Ranch Marketplace development. Austin did a good job of explaining. He kind of brushed on this. When we're pushing really hard to try to get these buildings going and get them built this year. And when we started ordering brick, we realized what we had shown wasn't available, and there was a long manufacturing time, so that's why we changed to the different brick. But all 3 of these buildings are going to have matching colors. And yeah, we're just trying to push through and get these things going so we can get some stuff out of the ground up there. I know it's been a long time coming. I think it was like almost 3 years ago now, the first time that I came in to talk about this project. So.
All right. Okay, we'll go ahead and open for commissioner comment. Any commissioner comment? Commissioner Hill.
Thank you for the completeness, Austin, and of the information that was brought to us. I saw that it indicated that you needed to have a cross access. Is that with McDonald's?
Yeah, this site has some challenges because of the topography. There's a lot of elevation gain. It doesn't seem like a lot, but there is, I think, 50 feet across the entire project, and we're trying to flatten it out. So, yeah, we worked with staff to make sure that the parking lots are connected. Trying to keep the sites flat, but have that car and pedestrian connected.
Yeah, I see that will be recorded on the final plat. So you've gone through all of that. So that was that access.
For the specifically cross access. Yeah, we in our CC&R's document, which is recorded with the final plat, we have language that like all of the lot owners grant cross access easement to all the other lot owners.
Well, like the other developments you guys have been involved in, I truly appreciate the design. It's a modern look. I think it's going to add to the area. The last question that I had is on the north side of the building is going to be the restaurant. It looks like there's going to be a drive-through. Do you have any indication? Is it going to be fast food or kind of what's coming in there?
Yeah, Austin kind of touched on this. So we do have a tenant. I think I had said this in the last meeting, but I can't really
Right.
announce tenants for them. They are going the drive-through spot. And then on the other end where we're showing a patio, we don't currently have a tenant, but every time I go out there and I see how good the view is, I'm like, we need to create some spaces for tenants would take advantage of it. So
Sure.
we're showing a patio. We don't know who will show up. We're hoping somebody who wants to take advantage of it will show up, but, so we anticipate maybe a restaurant, but currently we don't have a tenant for that space.
Well, thank you, Forrest, and success to you as you move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, all right, any other commissioner comment? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Can you remind me your last name?
Harris.
Commissioner Harris.
I was curious, on the drive-through, it looks like it's quite long. Do you know how many stalls are in that, or like vehicles out home?
So their plan here is showing, they're showing at least 5, and that's the minimum that's required per code. But it looks like it could at least do double that, if not more.
Okay, and obviously, since this wasn't called out in any, like, non-complies with that ending right in front of the entrance, that's not an issue as far as the city code is concerned?
Yeah, so they actually had the connection shown. It was a little bit different than that, and we wanted them to line up the drive aisles, so from north to south, and so that was actually a recommendation by staff that they line that all up. So that's why that connection to the McDonald's is kind of where it is.
Okay. And then this building is 2 tenants, that's the current plan?
I believe, is this, I think it's a 4-tenant
It's a
building.
4-tenant.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Forrest.
Yeah, we have 5 storefronts, so, you know, max we probably would ever have in there is 5. But right now, the current tenant is taking 2 storefronts, so it'll probably end up being a 4-tenant unless somebody comes in that wants another large space, and it could go down to like 3.
Yeah, you can see that on what's on the screen here, so it's reflected in the square footage is 2,700 for that upper, and that's basically those 2 rectangles put together on the upper portion there.
That's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Harris. Any other commissioner comment? Great catch on that drive-through placement. All right, hearing no other comment, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval on the requested site plan for Jacobs Ranch Marketplace, Lot 10, located at 1805 South Redwood Road, with the findings and conditions in this staff report.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Hill. Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rather. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, we'll now vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that also passes unanimously. We'll move to business item number 3, Taco Bell Major Site Plan Amendment located at 27 West Crossroads Boulevard. Ashley Wagner as applicant and planner 2, Caden Baines.
So Taco Bell has applied to do a major site plan amendment at their location here on Crossroads Boulevard. They are requesting to put a purple stripe across the top of the building, and they're also refreshing the signs and have done a site plan amendment or a sign permit with that. We went through our review process and found that it complies with the city code regarding site plans and site plan amendments and architectural design standards. Here are the elevations of the building. So it's going to be on the south and east and west facade. They're going to be adding that purple accent color around the top of the building. The stripe is going to cover 0.5% on the west facade, 0.2% on the south facade, and 1% coverage on the east facade. The way we classify accent colors when it comes to architectural standards is that they have to be less than 10% of the building or of the facade that it's on, and those colors aren't counted in the architectural standards for the number and coverage of colors. Do we have the applicant here for Taco Bell? All right, so it looks like it's just going to be me if you have any questions for them or me.
All right, let's go ahead and open for commissioner comment. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
Chair, I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested major site plan amendment for Taco Bell located at 27 West Crossroads Boulevard and the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilden. Do we have a second on that motion?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Harris. And any questions on that motion? All right, we will now vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That also passes unanimously. Move to business item number 4, Riverwalk Phase 1 preliminary plot located approximately at northeast of Riverside Drive and Thrive Drive. Dan Ford is applicant and senior planner David Jellin.
Okay, David Jellin is not here tonight, so I'm going to be covering his next 2 items on the agenda, but he's taken some time off, has some family in town, but he did prepare these next 2 items. So this is Riverwalk Phase 1. It is a residential, single-family preliminary plat. And so you can see where it's located here. This is just north of Pioneer Crossing. The bank is on that corner there, would be the main access off of Pioneer Crossing. So this continues on that same road, Riverside Drive. And it is an interesting property because it is adjacent to the river. And because of that, there are some wetlands and other things on the property. So moving on to their plat here, the areas highlighted in red are what they're actually platting. So phase 2 would come at a later date, and you can see in that gray area, those little hashed areas, that's actually wetlands, and they have to complete the wetland mitigation before they're able to develop that area. So that's why it's coming in a later phase. But the rest of this can be developed. So the area to the west is not in the wetlands. And then they are proposing to do open space along the riverfront there. So that separated piece is open space. It will have amenities there. And it's connected by a temporary trail. So that dark gray line that you see going in between the 2 red areas there, that is a temporary trail easement that grants access from Riverside Drive over to that open space area. Let's move on here. So the landscaping plan, they were required to submit a landscaping plan for that open space area. You can kind of see what that looks like here. So there will be some pavilions, a small one and a medium-sized one, as well as some benches, a table, some bicycle parking, and then a hard surface trail. So the idea is, because it is in that waterfront area, the city has a code that tries to activate the waterfront and try and improve that area so people can enjoy it. You will notice that in the staff report, there were a couple of shall complies. So the first one was regarding the site plan in the packet. One of the data tables just needs to be corrected. There were some numbers that were off, so that's pretty normal. And they'll have to fix that before the final plat is submitted. And then the other red line, the other shall comply was they need to update their Jordan River plan. So that's just a plan. They've already submitted that. We're just basically going through it, reviewing it, and we had a couple comments that they just need to kind of tweak it a little bit. So that's in process and will come forward, but we put that in as a requirement in the motion. So you'll see that in the motion tonight. Those were the only 2 shall complies. Everything else was a comply. And we do have the Dan Ford wasn't able to be here tonight, but I believe there's another representative that can answer questions should you have any.
Before we move to that, Austin, can you just speak to the traffic study piece that was part of the packet?
the traffic study piece that was part of the packet. Let's see here. What kind of, yeah, let's just, I'm pulling it up right now. And looks like Kyle, are you able to answer the questions on that?
What specifically are you wondering about?
Well, I don't understand any of it, so does it look good?
It-
Is there anything we should know about it?
We had originally expressed some concerns about it, and the traffic engineer took a look at it, and the way he had broken out his anticipated routing of traffic, when he explained that to us, we concurred that it would, we felt comfortable that it would be acceptable and that it wasn't going to cause any additional problems. Dalmore Meadows Dalmore Drive was the main concern about traffic. But the way that the analysis was handled is they anticipated that most of the traffic is going to be heading out to the south, where they have better access going north and south out once they get to Redwood. Whereas right now, if you go out Dalmore, it's right only. You're going north, and so we took a look at that. We analyzed it. We figured that it was acceptable the way that they had explained, that they didn't anticipate it that there being additional problems or major issues that needed to be taken care of mitigation-wise with traffic.
So does it connect to Dalmore?
It through the neighborhood it does. It goes west on Brookshire, and then it makes a jog to the right, and then up Dalmore to the west. It doesn't show it on this. It doesn't show it on this image. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
on this, there we go.
So if you look at, there's Brookshire Drive that you see where the star is. Just directly west of there's Brookshire Drive that's existing. So this main corridor, east-west corridor through this phase is Brookshire Drive as well. So it would continue. It would cross Riverside Drive, and then it would you would go out to, what is that? Devonshire, take a right, and then you'd go out to Redwood after taking a left there. So you would get out to Redwood by heading through the existing development, the existing subdivision. So it's interconnected. Actually, also with, as I mentioned in the report, with the improvements that UDOT's making out there on Pioneer, hopefully things are going to continue to improve there with some of the changes they've made and the improvements they're making with lanes. And so it's good, it's better now, but it's anticipated to get even better once they've completed those improvements. So engineering wise, we feel like the traffic has been looked at, and we feel comfortable that it's not going to cause any major problems.
Okay, thank you. Does the applicant would they like to join in? Do they have anything that they'd like to add?
No, nothing to add. I'm actually, my wife and I are the owners, and so Dan's our realtor, and Dale, can't remember his last name, our engineer, and they're not available here tonight.
Sorry, yeah, can you, oh.
Never mind, you were hiding.
Also, can you just make sure that mic's turned on and,
Is it not on?
It is on, yeah. Just make sure, you kind of have to put it right up
Okay.
against your face, unfortunately.
Yeah. So Dale's the brain. So what would you like to know? See if I can answer.
well, let's go ahead and open for commissioner comment. Commissioner Hill.
Chair, I had some of the same questions on that traffic
Sorry,
report.
Commissioner Hill, I'm just going to pause you for
Okay.
1 second. Can we actually have you state your name and address for the record?
Address where I live?
A business address?
Well, my name is Paul Kuhn, and I live in Eagle Mountain on the ranches. It's 9048 Torrey Pines Loop.
Perfect, thank you. All right, Commissioner Hill?
Thank you, Chair. I had some of the same questions on the traffic, and as I'm looking at that, I think initially you know, they are improving Riverside now because they're doing all that construction, and Thrive will go through. I'm guessing anyone that's wanting to get out to the freeway is going to go that way, which seems to me to be a more direct path than going west. But the big concern, you know, as I saw it, said it wouldn't have much more than a 20% increase on those roads at the max. The big question is going to be on phase 2 as we maybe double, because it looks to me that we are looking at 24,
It's 27 lots in this. phase,
27, okay,
and then
27
there's
lots.
10 more in phase 2.
Okay, and 10 in
Yeah,
phase
so
2.
it's only
Okay.
one-third more.
It looks like a great place, how you're taking care of the Jordan Riverside. I think you're gonna have a lot of amenities there that seems going to enhance that whole area. You're kind of landlocked a little bit where you're at. And I really, as Austin was talking about, you know, we have kind of an idea of what's the intersection at Redwood and Pioneer Crossing. There's gonna be some elevation there, and so we'll just wait and see how that goes with phase 2. But hopefully it will connect very well and be smoothly handled by UDOT, and we'll have no problems, so.
Yeah. And I believe you're gonna see the percentage of people going out to Pioneer Crossing.
Yeah.
Which is great, because I hate to see too much traffic go through Del Mar Meadows. It's,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
That would be
two
my
turns
thought
to get out
also.
and get
is
to
like-
Redwood Road, but
Yeah.
you're stuck going north, and that's all your option is there.
And
So-
then just, Austin, and I know David had done this, but this shall complies of the floodplain, the water and sewage and irrigation. Is that a part of that Jordan River piece that they're going to be working on, or have they complied to that already?
Yeah, so that is part of the Jordan River Stabilization Plan.
Okay, yeah, then you answered all my questions. Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any other commissioner comment? All right, Commissioner Roman.
Thank you. So, quick question. Where, going west on Thrive, there's no stop sign there. It's like you have people coming in, going into Sherwin-Williams, that business spot, people coming in and crossing all the time. I've seen numerous people almost get hit. Is the city gonna do anything about that, since there's gonna be an influx of traffic?
Yeah, that's a good question. As far as like stop signs go, and Kyle, you can help me on this, but basically a stop sign isn't installed until it's warranted. So if a study shows, I mean, it is a good point. This Riverside going north has not been active up to this point, right? So it's basically going nowhere. It's just a stub. So this will activate that. And obviously, there's another parcel even to the north of this, so that, should that get developed as well, that would increase the demand and the need for a potential stop sign
Yeah,
there.
it's just the way it's designed is, I don't
It's hard to
understand.
see
I mean,
around.
Thrive Drive is a very strange road, to be honest, like
It makes
especially
no
down
sense
over
at
there,
all.
kind of by the Sherman-Williams, that area,
Yeah.
is very odd.
It almost looks like a roundabout.
It does,
This roundabout.
it makes, and it's, you have people coming in, exiting, and then coming out from the neighborhood, then coming in, trying to cut through the neighborhood to get to Redwood. So that's my concern, because I worry about that neighborhood, so, and people coming to and from.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this development though tonight is concerned, that is something that, definitely we want to be on the city's radar. But this landowner and this developer, it's not on their property, so we can't.
No, I know, I
we
just
can't
wanted to bring
control
it
that
up
part,
though,
so,
because it has an impact, so.
yeah.
Cool, all right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Roman. Any other commissioner comment? Okay, I've got one. On your, that map, on the, next to the riverfront, you're gonna develop that, put some amenities in. Do you know what amenities are gonna be going in there?
Like you said, it's gonna have,
Sorry, can you speak into the mic?
it's on the, where's the list? Okay, so we
Yeah,
have benches
right
and
here.
tables, bicycle parking. There will be a couple small pavilions. and then there's gonna be a trail running right along the river there. So it'll be a nice little spot.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. All right. Hearing no other commissioner comment, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I move that the Planning Commission approve the requested preliminary plat for Riverwalk Phase 1, located east of Riverside Drive and north of Brookshire Drive, with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
All right. We have a motion from Commissioner Rather. Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second that.
We have the second from Commissioner Wilden. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, we'll now vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes unanimously as well. We'll go ahead and move to business item number 5, approval of minutes for July 16, 2026.
Chair, I move the Planning Commission approve the minutes of July 19th,
16.
July 16th, 2026.
All right, and we have a motion from Commissioner Wilden. Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
We have a second from Commissioner Roman. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes as well. And we'll move to public hearings. The commission will accept public comment and may make a recommendation to the city council for the following items. Item number 1, amendment to Title 19 Land Development Code of the City of Saratoga Springs, Chapter 19.13, development review process for new or unlisted business uses, city initiated, citywide, Senior Planner David Gillen, represented by Austin Roy.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So this is a code change that is being initiated by basically the state legislature. They, Senate Bill 284, made it so that we had to update our code to be in compliance with that. So essentially what we've done is we've gone ahead and corrected some of the language in our code that was not consistent with Senate Bill 284. And some of it is actually just kind of copying and pasting the language that is found there. But primarily the main 4 changes that you're gonna see in our code is, number 1, the Senate Bill 284 says the Planning Commission cannot review new business uses and new businesses. So that has been removed. The City Council will now be the deciding body on those. And the public hearing will now have to be held at City Council. So that's a change. You'll no longer see those public hearings here at Planning Commission.
Sorry, Austin, I was trying to think if I could remember when any of those had come through. I can't remember seeing any of those come through for us on unlisted.
These are very rare, so it'd be kind of like, it would be like if there was a new use that we don't have in our code. So like something, let's just say, like a new type of business that, it's not a restaurant, it's not a daycare, it's not anything we've ever seen before. Like if it was a brand new, something we've never seen before, then it has to come to Planning Commission. So these are really rare, but it can happen, right? So I don't know if you would have seen one in your time on the commission, and I can't recall of any in recent memory. So,
Chair, if I can, Austin did great, but so this law actually went into effect last year. So you guys saw this bill when it came through last year, and we originally adopted it. And actually, Commissioner Wilden made some comments about how the process was kind of clunky. And it looks like the state went back this last year and fixed those. And that's what this correction is doing. Because he even said, well, why would we be one body, but the approver still has to be council, but we're going to approve it. So it was really messy, and you haven't seen any under this bill that was passed last year. So that is the answer. You haven't seen one to date.
okay. Yeah. Let's see. Second reason, so I'll just go through the rest of these. So the other thing that this is covering is the appeal process is being modified. So if it's denied, the city is now responsible to notify and provide an appeal process to an applicant. And then number 3, if a new use or business is approved, that shall be added to our permitted use table. So, as I was explaining, like if there was a new business that we've never seen before, that would now have to be added into our table, and so then it would become code forever. And then number 4 was one-time uses. So we used to be able to grant like a business or a use as a one-time a one-time use in the city or something. That language had to be removed, so now it becomes a permanent use in the city. Those were kind of the main points. Maybe Rulon has some more that I'm glazing over. Rulon and David both worked on this, so I'm just coming in at this at the last minute, trying to wrap my head around it. But those are the main changes. You can see the changes here on the screen. And this is a public hearing, so we can have that, but also, if you have any questions, please let us know.
Thank you for reminding us that this is a public hearing, because that part sometimes gets forgotten. So we will go ahead and open for public input. Seeing none, we'll now close public input and open for commissioner comment. Commissioner Hill.
Just like any time that we are changing code, I like what the staff said, that we're streamlining the development process and we're adding clarification and effectiveness to the code process. And I think that's right. And I do remember when Commissioner Weldon talked about that it was clumsy. We were making some changes, but they were clumsy changes still. And this solidifies this, I think. So thanks the staff for continuing to make sure our codes are understandable to all that would be using them. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any other commissioner comment tonight? All right, hearing none, I will now entertain a motion.
I'll move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested code amendment to Chapter 19.13 with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Do we have a second on that motion?
I second.
We have a second from Commissioner Harris. Thank you. And any question on that motion? Hearing none, we'll now vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes unanimously as well. Move to reports. Do we have commissioner comments tonight?
I have one thought.
Go ahead, Commissioner Harris.
Last meeting and this meeting where we reviewed the commercial plans for the Jacobs Ranch marketplace area, I just had a thought. I was curious if the city has any kind of plans or existing code for EV charging. It's just something I have had a couple of people mention. I think the city only has 2 spots for that. I didn't know if that was worth being more kind of proactive about infrastructure for that, so I just wanted to maybe throw out a comment about that. So,
Great comment. Do we have code around?
Yeah, great question. So the city does not currently have a requirement for EV charging. It's not something that we require on developments there. It's kind of, if you want to do it, you can, but we don't require it.
So it's not required, but do we have code around?
As far as how it, where
Yeah.
it has to be located or things
Yeah.
like that, no. I mean, I think, they just have to meet their parking requirements, so as long as they're meeting their parking requirement, that's really what we're looking at.
So we've had the one application come through from Walmart where they added theirs in, right?
Correct, yeah. And the reason for that, so if you do alter or reduce the number of parking stalls, we do require a site plan amendment, so that's why you would have seen the Walmart one come through. But in others, or if it's a brand new development and they want to put them in with the building when they're installing it, we would probably note it on the site plan, right? But we just make sure that they're still meeting their parking requirements.
Okay. Is there
Chair.
anything about code? Yeah, go ahead.
Just another question. Have we started to receive any empirical data as to other communities and the standards that they may be using? I think we're just seeing this, as Matt says, it's going to be going up, and it might be good to get on the leading edge of that so that it is a part of what we're doing and not having to then come back and change things later. I just was wondering if there's any empirical information coming to traffic or whatever of things that we need to be aware of.
Nothing that I'm aware of. I can reach out to Jeremy Lappin. He's sometimes more involved in those circles where he's more closely interacting with other communities, but I can certainly bounce that off him. see if he,
Yeah, I
if
just
he
think
has
it was
any
a good
information.
idea to be more proactive than reactive. We're one of the newer cities and, I think we need to be a little more progressive. We have a lot of electric cars in our communities. As you look in your neighborhoods, they're all over.
Yeah,
Just a thought, so.
great, and it was a great one. Thank you for bringing that in. Any other commissioner comment tonight? Perfect, we'll close that and move to director's reports.
Yeah, so as for the director's report, I'll just share a summary basically of the last city council meeting. So there were a number of items that were here at the planning commission that went to the city council. So the first one was the development agreement for Saratoga View Assisted Living Center. That item was tabled. There was further discussion and concern about parking for the expansion of that facility. And so that item was tabled by the city council. Other item that was on the previous, on the July 21st agenda was the amendment to Title 19 Land Development Code regarding phased non-residential site plans. That's just really a cleanup code that was approved by the city council. And then there was another code amendment for open space and minimum required amenities. That was the one where we were looking at like restrooms in trailheads and things like that, and then requiring amenities. So that one had several, it went to several city council meetings. There was some discussion and concerns about where we want to put the restrooms. The city council was concerned about that and having to spend money on restrooms that wouldn't be needed, or making sure they're in the right location. So what staff is going to be doing is we will be updating our master plan, open space master plan, and that'll be coming forward by 2027. And when we do that, it'll outline where the restrooms will go. But the other part of that code did go forward, so the amenities portion, that did get approved, and then the rest of the restrooms will come at a later date. Let me see if there's anything else on that agenda. Let's just see here, program. And I think those were the only items, yeah. So those are the ones that you've seen here and then have gone to city council. That's the latest from the planning director's report.
Okay, and then just on that open space piece, and I know we've got a lot of stuff going in with the marina, and it's on me for not being up to date with all of that, but is there going to be like boat slips?
Are you talking about the North Marina?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has how many? There's 5 boat slips right now, currently.
Okay.
So,
Any long-term plan for long-term storage for boats there?
not that I'm aware of, no, and not in the first phase. So, right now, this is the first phase of the North Marina. There will be later phases, but in the concepts that we have right now, boat storage is not something that's been looked at.
Okay. I just really like to encourage, as those later stuff is going in, some long-term boat slip rentals and storage spots there. Just really has an opportunity to bring a different feel to our community that I don't really see here in Utah, and could be really awesome, especially as I see the fireworks that they did over the water, really building and on what we already have here and taking advantage of that could be a really cool opportunity. And I would use it. So, anything else?
Just a couple quick ones. We're entering into August, so we always like to give a reminder to just make sure you're working on your training. If you guys are already done, that's great. Make sure you send that form into Sarah and Wendy so they can have that documented. I sent out an email a couple of weeks ago before the last meeting about those changes to the PC bylaws and Title III as far as recusal and removal. Those were state law changes, part of SB 284, the code amendment that it was a really large land use bill that the state passed this year. So look over those. If you have any questions, you can shoot any of us an email and we can discuss those. And then one other thing is next week is National Night Out. That's the 4th at Walmart from 6 to 8 p.m. I believe. Ann?
Yes.
6 to 8. So it's always a great event. Take your kids. I've gone the last 3 years. It's tons of fun. Support the PD. Council always shows up. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Is there anything on those bylaws? I did read it that that we might have missed or should know about for sure?
No, nothing significantly changed. The recusals didn't really change. They were just reworded to be a little bit more clear. And then the removal sections, those were requirements by the state. So they said if this is met, you have to be removed for those as different items. So they were just specifics now, but nothing significantly changed as far as your obligations to the planning commission and to the city.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Any need for a closed session tonight?
No.
Perfect. And we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting.